Hi guys, welcome back, and today we'll be doing the next part for What If Piccolo trained with King Kai. Now last time we saw the battle between Piccolo and Vegeta, and it ended a lot faster than Goku could have ever dreamed of, with Piccolo managing to take out the Prince during their clash, thanks to not only his better mastery of the Kaioken, but also a move of his that Goku has never used. Now we see our heroes heading towards Namek after losing some friends, unfortunately, in the Saiyan saga, as they get ready for their new battles ahead. On Namek, the four fighters take a moment to get a feel for the land they've just moved to. Piccolo is having the weirdest time. After all, this is where he, well, once came from. Goku can see that his friend's kind of freaked out and asks if he's alright. Piccolo just brushes it off when the group are getting ready to head off. This is when they sense the huge powers on this planet. The first part of the Namek story plays out relatively normal, with two Frieza soldiers getting easily destroyed and not even getting near the ship, and then the group feeling the power of Frieza and follow it off to Mori's village, where we see some events play out the same, but Goku and Piccolo are much more comfortable rocking the boat. Even though King Kai had warned them, they are not willing to sit by and watch everyone in this village be killed. With the pair sharing an orders, Goku looks towards Gohan and Tien, telling them to grab the three Namekians who are still alive when they give the signal. The pair are slightly confused, but Goku stands up while Piccolo starts shedding his weighted gi. The pair begin to power up rapidly, and they both shout out Kaioken, for Goku a times 10 and for Piccolo a times 20. The scouters and all Frieza soldiers around the planet explode, as Goku appears right in front of Frieza, punching the Emperor straight in the face. This causes Frieza to be flung straight out of his chair, and soon he gets sent skidding across a body of water. Appearing above Frieza is Piccolo, kicks the Emperor straight into the body of water below him. He then starts firing a massive blast into the water, but he can feel something changing down below. Something with Frieza is happening. Seeing this unfold, Tien and Gohan quickly fight down and grab Mori, Dende and Cargo. But Zarbon, who was still mostly in shock, sees this and fires off an attack towards the group. Mori, not wanting this to hit anyone, jumps out in front of it, taking the blast, which badly hurts him. Gohan, angered, shoots a blast straight towards Zarbon, killing the alien instantly, giving himself and his four friends a chance to escape. Goku sees that Dodoria is about to chase after his son, so the Saiyan in a blink of an eye knocks him out. He then does the same for all Frieza soldier present. But Piccolo flies over to Goku, screaming how they need to leave and they need to leave fast. Goku's confused for a few seconds, but then he senses the power of Frieza increasing massively. The Emperor is already jumping up to his third form and it feels like his power is growing even more. Goku and Piccolo use their Kaioken to put a lot of distance between themselves and Frieza. Before hiding and having destroyed the scouters, they aren't too worried. Soon the tyrant flies overhead, looking for them, looking in every direction. They then hear the monster scream out how they can't hide forever, as he fires off a blast into the ground, causing a massive explosion. The attack hardly misses Goku and Piccolo, but Frieza's soldiers and Dodoria are killed with that attack. The pair let out of a sigh of relief as Frieza flies off towards his ship. Goku and Piccolo start searching for Gohan and Tien, with them finding the pair a couple miles off the village. With Piccolo seeing that all the Namekians were saved, however, the group getting a look at Mori can tell he isn't going to make it. That one attack he took is put him on death's door. Mori had already thanked Gohan and Tien for saving him, as he looks over to Piccolo and Goku, thanking Goku before looking over to Piccolo. This is the strongest Namekian he's ever sensed. His power is incredible, and he believes that Piccolo could save Namek right now. So he asked the Earth-raised Namekian if he could take the two young ones to the Grand Elder of the planet. They will be safe there, and Piccolo, still being somewhat edgy, makes it seem like he's reluctant, but Goku shouts out how they'll happily do it, so they don't need to worry. Mori smiles as he tells Kago and Dende to stay safe. He uses the last of his strength to grab Piccolo's foot, which confuses him, as he tells the Namekian, "Save Namek." Piccolo is confused as Mori begins to merge into Piccolo. He is confused for only a few seconds before Mori is completely merged within Piccolo. As the Namekian's power doubles, making him the strongest out of the Z fighters and only beaten by Frieza currently. As Piccolo looks at his hands, feeling power like he had never felt before, Piccolo asks what happened, and a voice responds, "That was a Namekian fusion. You and I are now one. Well, more like I am part of you now. Piccolo looks around before the voice calls out saying how it's Mori, the person he had just merged with. This freaks Piccolo out a bit, but he gets filled in on the Namekians in a lot more detail from Mori, as also he is guided towards Guru's place. The fighters follow behind. Like normal, Gohan befriends Dende, and also Cargo, thanks to him being alive. Here, they both are able to tell that Mori, their father figure, is alive in Piccolo, and they both keep glancing at him. However, the Namekian is too distracted learning about his race and his heritage, from the Namekian now in his head, to notice. But when they arrive at Guru's place, where Nail is aggressive towards them from the get-go, however, once seeing Dende and Cargo, he stops. He also has a moment where he senses someone familiar to him with Piccolo, but he never has seen this Namekian before in his life. Piccolo explains the whole situation and gives good detail through Mori speaking to him in his head, alongside sharing why he and his friends are there. Now, hearing this, understands, and of course, he wants to help out. Thanks to them, Mori and Cargo and then they manage to live, even if Mori's part of Piccolo. So, the group head in to meet Guru, where not only do they get a Dragon Ball, but their potential is unleashed by Guru. Like normal, then they gets his power increased, with him getting healing hands. And here we also see Cargo get his potential unleashed, where he feels his power massively increase. Group's power levels are the following: Goku with a power level of 920,000, Piccolo 1.1 mil, Gohan 400,000, Tien 106,000, and Cargo 10,000. The group after this feel incredible, but Piccolo feels weird. Not only does he feel a new surge of strength, he feels something different, and he can't quite figure out what it is. But for now, it's something he needs to forget about, as he wants to save this planet. Now, as the group can tell, they aren't quite strong enough to fight Frieza. However, Goku and Piccolo test something out. As they step outside, the pair begin to charge up to their max, both then shouting out Kaioken. And the two could already tell this, but thanks to getting their potential unlocked, their bodies can now hire a higher level of Kaioken. With their new highest being Goku at 20 times and Piccolo being able to go to 30 times, the pair can tell they are stronger, but they aren't quite enough to fight this new form of Freezers. And once figuring this out, the group are already coming up with a plan. But Guru explains that over time their power will increase more, and from what he can tell, this technique, paired along this potential unleashed, will give them more than enough power to fight him. The pair should be ready to win within a few hours. But the group don't want to wait around, so after talking out a bit, they decide to steal the Dragon Balls from underneath Frieza's nose. Goku and Piccolo plan on drawing the tyrant away while the others sneak in and take the balls. Everyone's a bit unsure about this, but Goku and Piccolo know that they can at least outrun the tyrant. They've got enough techniques and tricks to be able to do so. Everyone trusts them, and they soon find Frieza's ship. Goku and Piccolo can tell how much stronger Frieza is compared to them, but they plan on making sure the one hit they'll get in works. So the pair power up. Thanks to no one having scouters, they can do this without even being caught. The pair then use the Kaioken. Fire this blast straight towards the ship, and it destroys pretty much all of it. As Frieza looks up, seeing Goku and Piccolo engulfed in a red aura, quickly he fires off a death beam haphazardly, about half power, which Goku goes to block, but the blast goes straight through his hand and into his chest. Piccolo, seeing this, fires off another blast, which hits Frieza harder than he was expecting. As Piccolo grabs Goku and starts to rush off, Frieza's annoyed and chases after them, not wanting to lose him again this time. Which is when the trio of Gohan, Tien, and Cargo rush into the ship and grab the Dragon Balls, and they leave fast, only having to deal with two Frieza soldiers. Most were killed by the blast. Now, they head back to Guru's place and are starting to get ready to make the wish. Whereas over with Piccolo and Goku, Piccolo can see that Goku is clinging to life. This attack clearly hit him hard and might have even hit a lung. But Frieza, growing ever faster, is chasing after Piccolo. The Namekian begins to panic a bit as he tries to figure out what to do, but Goku tells him to turn around and look towards Frieza. It confuses Piccolo, but Goku just tells him to do it. Doing so, Goku then puts his hands to his head and shouts out, "Solar Flare," blinding Frieza as Piccolo and Goku get a chance to get far away and then hide. With Frieza not having a scouter, he can't keep up, and being blinded, he keeps flying on for a while. Eventually, Frieza flies overhead, but they can hear him mutter something, but not all too well. Something about getting bored and finishing this. They're not too sure what's happening, but Piccolo doesn't have the time to think. You can see that the damage Goku has took is dangerously bad, and he won't survive the flight back to Guru's place. He begins to panic, thinking what to do. But Mori in his head tells Piccolo to put his hands near the wound. Piccolo agrees but is confused. As he covers the wound, his hands then begin to glow, starting to cover the wounds of Goku's. Piccolo begins to feel slightly drained, but can see the wounds of Goku are being healed. Mori explains thanks to their fusion, it seems that when he got his potential unleashed earlier, not only did it unlock a new level of power for him, but some abilities Mori didn't even know he had been awakened. For now, this is the only one he knows they're able to do, but there's possibly more. Piccolo's interested, but Goku, gasping for air after being healed, looks around and soon figures out what happened. Looks towards Piccolo with a bit of a shit-eating grin, saying, "See, you're not that bad after all, Piccolo." The Namekian is annoyed, but the pair just laughed it off, as Goku, having gotten a Zenkai, starts thinking of sizing up his chances with Frieza, with Piccolo's help. The pair right now are achieving the final stages of their potential unleash. They still have a little bit to go, but are right at this point, between both of them, they are very strong and their power is still rising, so the pair are feeling confident when they feel the ground shake underneath them, hear a massive explosion, and sense a lot of life forms on the planet disappear. The pair panic, already know what's going on. Originally, they wanted to wait for Frieza to come to them, and when they had finally gotten the full power of this potential unleash. But at the moment, it seems like Frieza's trying to destroy the planet, and they can't risk it. The pair start racing towards Frieza's location, hoping to make it before he does anything else. Over with Gohan and Tien, they had gotten all the Dragon Balls and could figure out what to do next. Of course, when the explosion and the planet shakes, they already know what's going on, and the pair want to go and help the other two. But Gohan tells Tien to stay back and make the wish to bring everyone back, while also getting ready to get everyone off the planet. Things were to go south. He does go to fight back, however, Gohan explains how, at the moment, it's a battle of power, and unfortunately, he is a lot stronger than Tien is. So for now, he needs to bring back everyone who had died against the Saiyans. Tien's pride is hurt, but it does make sense. He tells Gohan as soon as he brings back Krillin and Chaozu, he'll be joining them. Gohan nods his head and starts going towards Frieza as well. Goku and Piccolo find Frieza, standing over a huge crater, which might as well be a huge chunk of the planet. Frieza sees the pair and starts laughing, saying, "Oh, I thought that might draw you out. You do-gooders are too predictable." Piccolo and Goku take a fighting stance, with Piccolo saying how he'll stop the tyrant here. Frieza laughs, telling them that he's heard this 100 times before, and it won't be the last. Both Goku and Piccolo power up using their Kaioken. Goku jumps to a power level of 60 mil with his times 20, and Piccolo at 90 mil with his times 30. The pair catch Frieza off guard as Goku rushes into Frieza, going for a hit. Frieza luckily manages to catch this hit, but Piccolo appears above Goku and is far faster, allowing Piccolo to scissor kick Frieza straight into the ground. The tyrant begins to pull himself up, but then he sees a Kamehameha crashing straight towards him. He manages to dodge it, only to be put back into the attack by Piccolo, who appears behind him and punches him straight back into the beam. That hurts Frieza a lot more than he was even expecting. The attack almost taken Frieza's hand. After seeing Frieza tank it, Goku and Piccolo give each other a nod, knowing that this battle's nowhere near done, but they can cling on to this battle and possibly win. As they slowly begin to chip away at the Emperor, doing good combination attacks and slowly doing more and more damage. Thanks to the fact that both of their powers put together equals 150 mil, Frieza's not really able to keep up. Of course, he's getting hits in and doing some decent bits of damage himself, but it's nothing compared to what the combo of these two is doing. Slowly, Frieza is taking more and more damage, and soon he realizes he's going to lose. Quickly, he begins to power up to his 100% form, where he now holds an edge over the two fighters. Starts fighting to separate them more, slowly doing more and more damage individually. The two fighters can hardly keep up with the full power Frieza when he's fighting one of them one-on-one, but together they are able to hold their own somewhat well. But Frieza is still clearly winning this fight. The battle continues on for a while as Frieza begins to beat into the two fighters, who are having to jump in and out of Kaioken to supplement the fact they are taking heavy blows. Now, after a while of being beaten into, a surprise blast hits Frieza in the back and hurts him quite a bit. He looks around to see Gohan, who had fired off a Kamehameha, doing a good hit on Frieza. The Emperor is pissed, however, and fires a death beam towards the boy. but luckily for him, Piccolo moves fast enough to get Gohan out of harm's way, while telling the brat to get out of here. But Gohan refuses, saying how last time he didn't help, everyone almost died, so this time he will fight with them. Piccolo's impressed by the boy's bravery, but tells him to be careful, as the trio begin to beat into Frieza once again. The small increase in power with Gohan, and the little bit of coverage he can bring, starts turning the tide slightly. The battle is on much more even grounds now, but the longer the fight continues, the more people begin to realise that everyone is running out of steam. You see, this battle has been on a timer ever since Frieza's went to his 100% form. For Goku and Piccolo, the Kaioken is starting to drain on their bodies, and they realise that he won't be able to hold out for much longer. Goku is in much worse shape than Piccolo is, as Piccolo's body is naturally regenerating, but it's hurting him a lot. As for Frieza, he's using his 100% form, and his stamina is causing him some issues. Slowly he can feel his body starting to give out on him, and he's realising he's going to drop out of this power soon. He's holding on as well as he can, but he's not sure how long it will last. Now, unluckily for our heroes, Goku's body is the first to give out. He feels an intense pain shake throughout his entire body as he crashes towards the ground, drained. Gohan, seeing his father fall, shoots off a blast, sending Frieza a little bit away, and rushes towards his father, trying to help him. Frieza arrives back on the battlefield. Piccolo ups his Kaioken to a times 35, a small increase, but he's hoping it will be enough to keep Frieza at bay. But his body is really starting to feel the backlash of this, and he's worried that he won't be able to fight for much longer as well. But Piccolo keeps going all out, and soon he's hoping that he is able to keep Frieza at bay, while Goku starts to slowly gain some energy back to hopefully rejoin the fight. However, with Goku, he weakly steps to his feet with some help from Gohan. It's a good moment to sense the battlefield. He can sense that Piccolo's fighting alone, but he can also feel the energy of Frieza dropping. From the distance, and taking a step away from the battle, Goku can now tell that both fighters, all of them, had been fighting on their last legs. He's not sure who's going to give out first, but he's hoping it's Frieza. But if it's Piccolo, he's going to put a gamble into the mix. Goku then begins to put his hands into the air, telling Gohan to start lending him some small energy. Gohan, confused, but watches his father form something he's never seen before. Goku then asks for help of all those things living on Namek, every life on the surrounding planets, and even manages to get some help from King Kai. The Kai asking for the people on his planet and some people on Earth to send Goku energy. This leads to Goku gathering quite a large sum of energy quite fast, not having to waste ages gathering a lot. It also helps that he's forming a much smaller spirit bomb, just one that he only needs one hand for. He's not forming a giant one. Sensing what's going on the battlefield, he can tell that Piccolo's on his final step. He's only got a few seconds left in him, and he needs to have this bomb ready just in time. And that is what happens. Just as he gathers the last bit of this energy, Piccolo's body finally runs out of steam. As his body almost tears apart, Frieza sees his opportunity and kicks Piccolo straight into the ground, a good distance away from where Goku was. Frieza laughs for just a second as a small white ball appears right in front of his face. A shout of Spirit Bomb is heard as the attack begins to grow in size and begins to explode. Frieza panics, puts one arm out quick enough and starts fighting off the blast with one hand. But slowly, the explosion which follows the Spirit Bomb begins to engulf Frieza. The Emperor tries to fight back as hard as he can, but the drained Emperor can't hold off the attack and is soon caught in an explosion. Frieza begins to get engulfed, and this sends him flying across the planet with the ball. Goku stands weakly, feeling like he might have won, and not being able to see Frieza. That's up for Piccolo, asking if he's alright. Piccolo, who can hardly hold himself up right now, responds, "He better be dead. That spirit bomb locked a lot weaker than I was hoping for." Goku responds how it's the best he could do with the time given, and the trio sends around the planet for a few seconds, unable to find the power of Frieza, but that's only for a few seconds. When they lock onto it, they panic. Goku recognizes this incredible power as Frieza, as the tyrant appears, holding a wound where one of his arms used to be. He figures out that Frieza managed to hold off the blast, but gave up an arm to do so. Keep in mind, even though Canon Frieza managed to stop a much larger spirit bomb, which was probably heavier, this Frieza has taken a much heavier beating, and is both drained on energy and stamina. This is thanks to him using his 100% form, so Frieza here was operating nearly powerless, so stopping a smaller spirit bomb took a lot more than it would have if he was at full power. Frieza looks at the group, who has been messing with his plans for immortality, and he's had enough. he locks eyes with Goku. Being the fighter who's annoyed him the most and taken his arm, he fires off a blast towards Goku. The Saiyan has no energy to move and is about to try and tank the blast, but Gohan takes the blast for his father. The attack does some major damage to the boy, leaving him smoking, half dead on the floor. Goku is enraged. Piccolo, having gotten closer to see what happened, watches as his rival changes, a power of Goku's he has never felt before. The energy of Goku begins to become yellow. His hair begins to rise upwards, turning golden, but for a brief moment, Goku's power erupts massively. He seems on the edge of achieving something incredible, but before he can finish, a death beam pierces through his chest. Frieza is not risking anything, telling the group this battle ends here. Piccolo watches from a distance as Goku, his closest friend, falls to the floor, motionless. The Namekian screams out, Kaioken times 50. Body turns a deep red, and he feels his body being ripped apart from every bit of muscle fibre. But he doesn't wait a second, he jumps towards Frieza, throwing a punch, which cuts cleanly through the Emperor's chest, grabbing the Emperor's heart and squishing it when it comes out through the other side. Piccolo and Frieza both fall to the floor. Piccolo, having completely destroyed his body here, lets out a weak cheer, but he can feel his internal organs almost failing on him. He tries his best to shout out for his friends, and he does hear a faint response back from Gohan. This calms him a little bit, as Gohan's response was saying how his father is still alive, just barely. For a moment or two, everyone lays quietly, just trying to figure out what to do. This is when Goku hears people talking, then looking up to see Gohan having been fully healed. He then starts to feel better himself, as Goku sees Dende, Cargo, and Tien. Dende having healed him up before running over to Piccolo. The group survive through pure dumb luck, it feels like. But luckily, with a bit of help from Cargo and Dende, they're doing much better. After getting healed up, Goku feels amazing, as he asks Piccolo how his body managed to handle a Kaioken that strong. Piccolo then brushes this question aside, asking Goku what was happening a couple of seconds back. Goku explains how he doesn't really know, he just felt an intense rage, then an incredible power. It felt great for a moment, however he can't seem to feel it anymore. Piccolo is interested and does want to know more, as it seems Goku has started to achieve a new amazing power, but for now he is happy he won the battle. After this, the group spends some time resting. Tien doesn't need too much, but he uses the free time he has to train in the gravity chamber. That's just waiting there for free. So, after a little bit of rest, the group start getting ready to head back to Earth. Now, before leaving, a few things happened. First off, Mori tells Piccolo about the Namekian Book of Legends, and how it might hold something about what happened to his friend. So, after a short talk and some permission from Elder Guru, Piccolo reads through the book, learning small bits about himself, but more importantly, something about a Super Saiyan and a Super Saiyan God. From what he can tell, what Goku was about to achieve was something called Super Saiyan, and now having an idea of how to achieve it, and the fact that Goku's on the edge of unlocking it himself, he believes that he'll be able to help his friend get there with a little bit of training. After explaining everything to Goku, the Saiyan is obviously excited and can't wait to get back to Earth to train for this power. Even Gohan is interested in it. And the second thing that happens is on the last day on Namek. The Earth group is heading back home today, and Nail is the only person present to say bye to our heroes. He asks Piccolo to stay on Namek, saying how a Namekian his strength doesn't come around very often, and it would be incredible to have him on this planet. Help protect it, even. But Piccolo just sighs, saying, sorry, but Earth is my home, and the place of my greatest rival, who, if I give a second chance to get ahead of me, he will make a huge gap in power that I'm not sure I'll be able to close. Nail, hearing this, nods slightly, sort of understanding, as the group depart for Earth. Mori inside Piccolo's head is sad to leave the planet without seeing Cargo and Dende one last time. Piccolo tells him, on the way back, they can always visit, but only a few hours into their flight home, the group hears something moving around the ship. They're interested and also kind of worried. This could be a Freezer soldier, and if it is, that would be awkward. The group investigate around the ship and soon find the problem. As they head into one room, they find Dende and Cargo hiding away. This freaks everyone out in the ship as they try to figure out what to do and why they are here. Cargo explains how Mori was their father figure, and if Mori's now part of Piccolo, that makes the fighter their new father figure. Everyone hearing this finds this kind of cute, but Piccolo, who was very annoyed at the kids, while Mori laughs inside of him, saying maybe this won't be too bad after all. And with that said, this is the end of this part. I hope people enjoyed. I know it's not particularly canon that, the Namekians can speak to you inside the Namekian assimilation thing, but I think it's much more fun than just saying Mori disappears. Having Mori be part of Piccolo's subconscious and also being a bit of a guiding voice would be really interesting. I originally planned on having Piccolo fuse with a lot more people, but he also would have just dicked on Frieza, and I was trying to make things a bit more interesting. With that said, though, I hope everyone enjoyed, and I'm looking forward to the next part. I'm looking forward to playing with Cargo and Dende as characters, as I don't think I often play with Dende really, so that's something. And then Cargo is very rare to touch upon. So with all of this being said, I hope everyone enjoys. Hope you all have a good day or a good night. Hopefully, I'll see you next time.